welcome back to MV Chef. I'm going to show you how to make standard pie crust. Get some fancy flute edging going on there. Yeah. The first thing I'm going to do is add my flour. So I've got my 1 cup of flour. Next I'm going to add my salt. I'm just going to mix this together a little bit. Okay, next I'm going to add my Earth Balance buttery spread. That's what makes this recipe vegan. Other recipes ask or call for vegetable shortening, which would be vegan as well. And you know, some have sour cream or butter. This one, I prefer buttery spread. That's a little bit warm, not really too much. I want to keep it rather firm. Now I'm going to use a what is this? I'm having a senior moment. Using a pastry blender, I'm going to cut in the buttery spread to the flour mixture, and I'm just going to do this until the flour resembles little particles about the size of a pea. You just kind of keep doing this. It's all mixed together and you don't have any big chunks of buttery spread left. Okay, well, that's pretty good. Let's see, this is the same technique you'd use for any pie crust, by the way. Just like Grandma used to do. Okay, now I'm using cool water, and I have 3 tablespoons in here, but you want to do this slow. You're just going to sprinkle the water. You're not necessarily going to use all of this, and you may even use more. It's just kind of a consistency call. So using a fork, you're going to add your cool to cold water, and just keep mixing all this together, and you want it, I can already tell you I'm going to need more than 3 tablespoons to get it. You don't want it dry and crumbly, you want it moist, and you want to be able to form all this into a ball. So let me try with the 3 tablespoons and see what I get here. And then I think I'm going to add more like 4 tablespoons total by the time it's all said and done. I usually don't even measure. I'll give you an idea. So I'm adding a little bit more water. You don't want it too gooey, too sticky. I'll be able to roll this out and work with it. So if it's too dry, you're going to have a heck of a time getting it into a pan and fluting the edges. And if it's a little sticky, you can always make up for that on the board when you're rolling it out by adding a little more flour. You see? Insider secrets. Okay. Did I remember to take my rings off? No. Jangle jang. So that's pretty good. It's a little on the gooey side, but that's all right. Like I said, I can add a little more flour, which I will as I'm rolling it out. Oh, there's our enough dough for 1 pie crust. Really not much to it. So, hang on, we're gonna head to the board here. More like the board is gonna head to us. So it's sprinkling the board. I'm just using a larger cutting board I have. As my pastry sheet is a little sad right now. Christmas hint for any of you generous souls out there. So I have a rolling pin, and I'm putting a little bit of flour on this. A nice ball. This is my ultimate destination. This is a 10-inch pie plate, but you can use a 9-inch. So I'm going to do this. It's a little gooey. And you just want to roll it out. For those of you who've made pies before, I apologize for giving you instruction you may not need. But some people are new at this. So I'm just going to roll this out to a reasonable, what I hope is a circle, close to a circle. And what you're going to do here, to know that you have a big enough circle for your pie plate, is you're going to turn this upside down and put it on there, and you want to go about an inch over the edge here, about like this. And even if you might have to make up some space, about like that. Just kind of trim it up a little bit. Some people do it after it's in the pie pan. Okay. Put a little more flour on here. Use your rolling pin as a guide. I don't know if you can see all this. I'm trying to let you see what I'm doing. Hopefully it's not going to stick to my board. Oh no. Cut. Come on, man. This is why people buy them already made. Not me. Not here at MB Chef. We like to do things the hard way. See, it's a little too gooey, so that's why I'm having problems. So, not as much water as I did, folks. Okay, I've lifted it. I'm gonna just kind of flip it on there. Did you see that? Hope you saw that. Get this out of the way. My mom used to take the leftover pie crust and roll it out, put a little cinnamon and sugar and bake it. Oh, it's a little off here. Darn it. Do what I say, not as I do. Okay. But you get the idea. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of fold this up along the edge, give it a little extra bulk. I'm going to show you some different fluting techniques. Now we are going to put pumpkin pie in this particular crust, so I'm not going to pre-bake it, but I am going to just show you some fluting. Now I'd have a lot more dough to work with if I used a 9-inch pie pan, but I couldn't seem to find mine. I have the big boys, the big guys, 10 and 12-inch pie plates, but not 8 or 9. But that's okay. You're gonna get the idea. The more you have up there, the less chance it will burn when you go to bake it or get too brown. But we'll show you how to work around that too in my pumpkin pie video. Okay, so you see I've kind of pressed this in here, and I've got a pretty good buildup on the edges. I'm just going to show you. This one's a little, you can, if you're a perfectionist like some people, you could build this up with the extra dough. Kind of blend it in there. Any weak sparse areas, just make sure you can can use a little water. Really get artistic here. See how I I beefed that up a little bit. I was a little sad on that one area. Okay, enough perfectionism. Here we go. So there's a couple different techniques here for fluting. Some people like to just use a fork. You'll see this in store-bought pies or bakery pies. They just do this, right? Along the edges. And you can do that. Or it's like clay. You can rebuild it. Or this is one I like. My mom always did. A little zigzag like this. You see that? You get your kids in here. In fact, I think my mom taught me all these when I was a kid. Long time ago. So you can do the zigzag flute. I said you could do the zigzag. You get the idea. Or this is one I've been doing for a long time. It's called pinch and inch. Look at an area I haven't done anything to yet. Okay, so you just, let me take my rings off. Now that they have pie crust in them. So you're just gonna kind of, I should zoom in a little bit so you can see. Okay, so you're just gonna kind of do this and just, you don't want to pinch it till you see the pan come through. Why don't you just go around like that? And that's a winner. I'm gonna go with this one. Now, if you're making a pie that calls for or pudding, cream of something, you know, and it calls for pie crust, where you're not, where you need to pre-bake your crust, that's where you would use a fork to put some holes, some pricks. Little pricks throughout the crust so that it doesn't bubble up when you bake it. But like I said, we're gonna fill this, we're gonna fill this with filling. We're gonna add some pumpkin pie filling and bake it all at once. You know, you could also make this up, cover it, and freeze it. Pull it out another time. I'm kind of, this side's a little too thick now. This part takes longer than actually mixing it. But there's nothing like a homemade crust. I know you can pick them up at the store. They're faster and easier for people who just are in a hurry and don't have a lot of time, but if you can find the time, I recommend the homemade pie, including the crust. All right, it ain't perfect. I'm not trying to win an award here today. So there is my standard pie crust, all ready to get filled with something yummy. So enjoy your standard pie crust. Put something yummy in it, or freeze it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.